What's up guys, it's Michael here. In this video, we're going to talk about rent control. So there's a bill proposed currently because of the rising rents all over the country, especially in major cities such as New York and California. And this also includes Texas and Florida. So rents are increasing and people are now becoming very unhappy because the rents are rising based on supply and demand. But what I don't get is why would they propose rent control? Why? Because honestly, rent control, they try to make a bunch of arguments, and based on their story, they say rent control will help solve all the problems, prevent people being kicked out, prevent people manipulating the market. But in reality, it's just slapping a band aid on a really major problem, and it's going to continue to grow. So if you think about it this way, rent control itself is going to prevent people from raising rents because you got multiple problems here. So first, we're going to look at the few basic problems. Is majority of the homeowners who are renting out the property are basic mom and pop stores, meaning is they're small homeowners and they're renting out to earn that small little amount of income. There's a bunch of data supporting that majority of the renters or people who are renting from mom and pop stores, and they need to raise rents because of the rising interest rates and the rising food costs. You got rising electricity and water, so they have to make up for it. So if you look at supply and demand, the reason why it's going up just because all those factors are starting to come in. And also there's another thing: if you control the rent, and let's say you set it for a monthly cost and it's supposed to cost you like $2,500, and let's put it that you guys decide to set it at $1,000 for like a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom apartment when it's supposed to be going for $3,000, then those people are gonna start losing money. So if they start losing money, what are they gonna do? They just won't rent because it's not worth it. Why would you bring a tenant who is basically a liability, could destroy your apartment, and at the same time you're losing money taking the rent? No way gonna happen. And what irks me the most is when you have authoritative action for rent control, which is what they are proposing, is if you have authoritative action, it's going to scare away a lot of people who are doing real estate and want to rent out the property. If that's the case, what are going to do? Then you're going to have even worse situation. More people are willing to rent out their homes or build new apartment complexes that are meant to be rented out. So basically, that's not solving the problem. So the fundamental issue is that instead of having rent control, look at what's the problem. Why are people renting a lot more often for these past couple of years? And the most basic ones, you look at a lot of people sold their homes, they need a place to stay. So they need a place to stay, they'll rent out all over the area. And when they run out of areas to rent, people will jack up the prices because that's supply and demand. And another fundamental issue is there are not enough places to rent, meaning is there's not enough apartment complexes, there's not enough condos, there's not enough townhouses, and not enough people renting their homes. So that means the government has to do something to make incentive for more business owners, especially the really small business owners, which is make up a majority of the population who are renting their homes and properties. Give them incentives to rent out, like convince other people like myself or other people such as you guys watching to rent out your home. And you can call it something like house hacking, because a lot of videos are made like that, where people rent out their home to cover all their expenses, so all the income they make don't have to cover their property. Then if that incentive is great enough, a lot of people will start doing it, then rents will start to decrease. Rent control is not the answer. That's a given fact. And what irks me the most as is like people keep proposing it because they don't want to kick out their apartments. And the government is now preaching that, trying to support the people who are wanting to pass this bill. But at the end, if they propose rent control, look at New York. You have rent control over there already for a majority of the place, and the price is still going up. And the reason why is because there's even less places to rent, because a lot of people don't want to rent an apartment. Unless, I mean, if you put it this way, if the government wants to take control of it, they can make apartment complexes and set it for a set price, which means they will lose a lot more money because they won't be getting any profit. And number two is that's taxpayers' money, so we're all paying for it at the end. And at the end, it doesn't solve the problem. There's way more renters than people who are willing to rent their property. And the only way to solve it is look at the equation of supply and demand. Meaning is if the supply is really low and demand is really high, prices will go up. And to fix that problem, we've got to raise supply, which in this case, we have to, because especially in California, a lot of people want to live near their workplace. And especially for major city centers such as New York City, you look at Dallas, Texas, you look at Florida, all the the major dense urban areas need places to rent. So meaning is if they build more apartment complexes and build better incentives for people who own single family units to rent out the property, then it'll solve the rental issue, which it's a major complex problem, but that's like the right step going forward. This is a pretty short video. I hope you guys understand that rent control and a lot of other financial topics, especially it involves something political, but as long as it involves money, I'll be covering that topic. Hope you guys liked the short video. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. And please understand that rent control itself, it all sounds good, but if you look into the deep dive and jump down a rabbit hole and see how does it work, and you think about it, you gotta think about it as if you're in the other person's shoes. If you're that mom and pop store, if you own a property yourself, and you have people doing rent control, then you gotta understand how's it gonna pay off all your other expenses. If it doesn't, then why rent out the property? Common sense, which unfortunately not many people have when it comes to finance. Hope you guys like this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.